Welcome in, Shield Brothers and Shield Maidens, to Shield's Rest. I'm Brown.
And I'm Fry.
We appreciate you joining us today. We're going to be doing our fifth video on the DC20 playtest rules. Today we're going to be covering character creation. We're very excited for this one, and I think we're going to be doing a Fiendborn Rogue. So, real quick, I'll show you. This is the standard DC20 character sheet right here. This is what it looks like. We're actually not going to be using this one. We're going to use a slightly different version. Shout out to Reddit for this, and I'll throw their username on the screen here. But they made this widescreen PDF version, so it's laid out a little bit different, but we wanted to show this from the community, and it's relatively the same. So we'll get started here. I think we went ahead and picked out a name, just something silly, but what did we say it was? Smitty?
It's Smitty McGee, classic.
McGee. There you go. That's not the player name though, that's the character name. That goes here. We'll leave player name blank since we're both doing it. We already know what class and subclass, well, not subclass, but we're going to be a rogue. We're starting with level 1. We're going to be doing Fiendborn, and we'll get into what that looks like as we go through it. Combat Mastery, quick refresher, it's half your level, so we're level 1, minimum is 1. And then we're going to start with step 1, which is the attributes, which are going to be, what is it, 3, 2, -1, 0. You can place those
we'll be
any way
doing
you want.
the standard array, yeah.
And then you get 2 additional. So it's a rogue. But what are you thinking, Fry? Where do you want the 3 to go?
I mean, the classic is agility, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it depends on what kind of rogue you want to build here. So if you're going classics, sneaky, stealthy, agility is the go-to.
I was thinking maybe
I
intelligence.
was like, I think
I'm
intelligence is going to be a key
thinking,
stat for sure.
because I'm thinking more like my version or idea of the rogue currently is that they're going to be one that are like treasure hunters or dungeon diving. They're doing more like
Mm-hmm.
go out and find and collect things to sell or to, uh, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
the the Laura Croft, the Nathan Drakes.
Yeah, there you go. I kind of like
Yeah,
that.
okay. I mean, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Do
And that
something different.
also, the intelligence gives us more skill points.
Yeah. I was gonna
So,
say intelligence is either gonna be like primary or secondary.
yes, I was thinking
Um,
maybe secondary as well. So, we could go
yeah. So
2 there.
then,
That still gives us a decent.
yeah.
Let's try
So I was
2,
like,
and then we'll go
you
3
can't
as
really go
well.
wrong with either. And then I feel like might minimum 0 just because
Yeah,
that's where like your health is coming from. So I don't think I want to stick a negative there.
right. And this
And
would be
then
-1 by default, but
yeah, and then
we
we get that
also
extra.
we have 2.
Yeah, so we can either max out intelligence and have 2 3s.
That'd be broken. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, or we can get a 1 in might to get us a little bit of extra health,
Mm. I was
which I
thinking for the
think,
intimidation potentially as well, because
yeah,
not that rogues do a lot of intimidation, but
you
I
might
wouldn't
have
want
to
to
if
come
you get
across
caught.
one.
Yeah, let's stick 1 there. And then
We
it's,
can.
do we want to even out charisma or get an
That's what
extra
I'm
skill
thinking.
point?
Yeah, we'll do this for now. We can always come back to it. That's part of building a character, right?
Yeah.
This block up here is your prime modifier, which, if you remember, it's always your highest stat, which is 3. At level 1, it's usually 3.
Yeah. And I was as I was like looking through character builds more, I think I would use the variant rule where it just says that basically your prime modifier is like your character limit because I feel
Whatever.
like you're always gonna
Yeah.
have a stat there. And so I think that for me would just end up being the default because you're always gonna have 1 at max level, hopefully.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Okay. Next is gonna be save masteries. So we get to pick
And this
two of
this
these.
one like got me thinking of lot, right? So your save is obviously gonna always equal your score. So you can either use this to just really specialize in agility and intelligence, or like go opposite and now all your mastery saves are like
Yeah. Like more balanced kind of
solid.
thing. Yeah.
But I say my vote is let's just go specialize. Let's just agility,
Okay.
intelligence.
Agility, intelligence. I like it.
Yep.
Kind of what I was thinking as well. So that will add our combat mastery into whichever skills we pick, which I believe that might be next. Sorry, I'm using this outline anyways. So the
Now you're
background
good.
is the skills, trades, and languages. So for skills, right, we get 5 base, and then we have 2 intelligence, so we get 7 total. But if we pick a knowledge one, then we get another point and another knowledge skill. So what are you thinking?
Okay.
The typical acrobatics,
Let's
stealth?
yeah. Acrobatic stealth, I think if we're gonna go for that like treasure hunter vibe, I'd say you probably want history
I
arcana.
was I was thinking
Just
like a history, and then you get a free one. We'll pick Arcana because it makes sense. We're looking for
uh,
magical and regular
and
items.
then probably occult and religion. I feel like that's gonna cover your four main items you're searching for.
Yeah. So this
So
is one
there's
point, 2 points, 3, 4. So we have 3 left. Investigation.
uh,
I'm thinking
yeah, for sure. Let's grab that intimidation that we were
intimidation,
talking about.
and we'd have 1 left.
Maybe
I feel like we don't
influence,
really
talk our way out.
need. I mean, we might need influence, maybe, but we don't have any skill there. Maybe that's fine
That's
for now.
true.
We'll do that.
Yeah. So it's either gonna be that or
Forgot about
um
awareness.
I didn't even think about it. You could take
Yeah,
one and let's do that instead of
we'll take awareness.
nice. Okay.
All right, let's double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
And then for trades, we have to write these in. I was thinking, kind of going with the same theme, maybe want cartography because in my mind, as we're exploring places, we're keeping maps of them so we know where we've been, where we haven't been.
hmm And I
Would you
think
agree with that?
then yeah, and then cryptography would probably
Cryptography is good too.
go right along with it.
That's like deciphering messages and things like that.
Yeah.
And
Both of those key off intelligence too. That's great.
yep,
And how
we
many
just
was
get
it again?
we get 2
Just
trades,
two. Okay.
but we could
I think
convert
that's
points as well.
yeah, I'd say the only other one I could think that might be useful is lock picking, but I don't think
Yeah,
it's vital enough to
yeah,
yet for a skill trade.
right. We can always get that later as well.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to point out these uh, spaces here under knowledge. I didn't mean to skip over that, but these are for if you want to write your own, so you can create your own skill and give it points, and that could be something more specific to an idea you have. Same with trades as well. Okay, for languages, everybody starts with common. That's like the universal language, so we're not going to write that in, though you could. What
Yeah.
about
That'd be a
dwarvish? I don't
let's
know.
do it.
I'm thinking,
Let's
there
see
if
if
we're
we
going underground a lot or around that type of thing, maybe we've lived around dwarves.
I
We could
like it.
just be
Let's do
limited.
dwarves.
Yeah. You want to do fluent dwarvish?
Yeah.
Just make it easy. All right. Next is just our hit points, which is there's a formula for that, but it's start with 6 plus your level. So we're level 1, so
Mhm.
that's 7, and then we get an additional 1
For might
for might. So
be 8.
is it 8? 6 plus
Yeah.
2. Yes,
6.
you're right. There you go. So we have 8. 6
Every
plus
health point
level
matters here.
plus might. Yeah.
All right.
Stamina
So
points.
next, yep, stamina points and mana points. We'll just start with the 1, it looks like.
Okay. I guess we'll put
Mm,
1 there as well. And then
oh,
defenses.
yep, and then that's gonna be for us, because we're not barbarian or monk, it's gonna be 8 plus combat mastery, 1 plus our agility, 3. And then armor bonuses, So I say we'll leave it at 0 for now.
Yeah, we have light armor, which, well, we'll go over equipment later, but for now it'd be 12. If we equip light armor, I think we get an extra 1. But this
Yeah,
is
armor
12 without.
bonus. Yeah, I think both start at a +1. And,
Hmm.
right, and then
And
our
then
mystical
mystical is
defense. 8 combat mastery plus charisma plus intelligence.
so 9 plus 2, 11.
Yeah.
And then for these heavy and brutal, this is the by 5 modifier. So those just go up 17 and 22 and 16 and 21. That's our thresholds for if we get hit past those.
Have our damage reduction as well. So there's a
Oh,
block for
okay.
that. And that's going to be physical damage reduction. It's only for in heavy armor, so it'll probably be
That's
0.
0.
And then mystical is also 0.
Cool.
Easy.
Yep. Okay.
All right. And then, yeah, I have the combat modifiers pulled up if you want to just fill them in as I read them off.
Yeah, that's over here on this side. Let me scroll over a bit. No, not action point. Right here. That's this one,
Cool.
right?
Yep, so that's going to start at a +4. And then your save DC is 14.
Yep.
The martial check is the highest between athletics or acrobatics.
So we have this 3, and we need to, after this, we'll jump back over here, but 3 plus your skills, you're right? So that's a 5.
Yep, so that's our martial check is a 5.
Cool.
Death threshold is going to be -3.
That's equal to prime modifier.
Move speed is 5, 5 spaces, I think is what it's counted as right now. Jump distance is equal to our agility. That'll be a 3. And that would be a minimum of 1.
Mm.
So if you have a negative agility, you at least still get that as 1. And then our rest points is 1 plus might.
Oh, it's 2.
And grit points, which is 2 plus our charisma.
Okay. That's not bad. At least we have some grit points.
Yeah. All
Let's come
right.
back over here real quick and do this. I forgot. So level, if you have 1 marked, you're a +2 for novice. So this goes to a 5. This is 1 plus 2, 3. This is a 5, 3, 5. These are all 0. Luckily, there's not many of those. 4, 2, 2. Then this goes off of intelligence, so same thing there. It's 4, 4. Trades, it's the same thing. These are 2 because we have novice.
Ancestry.
Ancestry. I'm just going to jump down to that. So on this one, here's the default traits, which we didn't show this one in our last video, but you can see them here now. So again, default traits are the ones that you kind of like a suggestion to start, but you don't have to take these. And you can only take 1 minor, which is a negative, which I think we're going to be doing here. So.
The minor is the 0.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. The negative trait is the negative. So I'll type on here while you read out which ones you're picking. How about that?
All right. Yeah. So we'll start off with our minor trait. That's going to be Light's Bane. That is spending an action point to snuff out any mundane light sources within our within 5 spaces of us. So that's the default. Everyone will get that. There is a separate one for them to mix up with the Angelborn traits, but that's the default one for us, and that's the one we're going to keep. And then for our first one, that'll cost 1 point is Dark Vision, and that's Dark Vision out to 10 spaces. Good, interesting note I found on that. We were talking about it earlier. Is there's only 3 races or 3 ancestries, sorry, that have Dark Vision, which is very different from D&D. I feel like every race has Dark Vision in D&D.
Yeah, almost. I remember being the only guy at the table that didn't have it, and that was awkward.
Yeah,
You too.
always fun. Yeah, my very first one. In in a game that was completely in darkness. It was great.
Oh, it's this character right
Um,
here.
yeah, there he is. Next up, we'll do Charming Gaze. Uh,
Okay.
I think this is perfect for a rogue. So you spend the action point, gaze upon a creature you can see within 10 spaces that you can also see, make a spell check contested by the target's repeated charisma save. And if they succeed or it's a success, the creature becomes charmed by you for 1 minute. Great, great get out of jail card if you can pull it off.
Yeah, that's only one trait
Yeah, just one,
cost.
and
So
that's a great deal.
yeah.
Then the last one pointer is Fiendish Aura. So this is going to get us a sorcery cantrip, or the sorcery cantrip, sorry. We just, with the stipulation that we have to choose the Fiendish origin. So we haven't really covered spells yet, but we can go ahead and pull that one up
Yep.
and show what it does.
It's called, the cantrip is called sorcery. It's right here.
Sorcery, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we just have to use the Fiendish origin.
Yeah, we get this effect here essentially. So
One of the best abilities I think to have in any, maybe not any TTRPG, but like in most, we're gonna go with glide speed. So we have a set of wings. This is just for slow descent, so it's not full on freeform flying, but
I
basically we
love
get
it.
some controlled following. Yeah, we suffer no
Help us
damage
really
from.
cave dive.
Yeah, perfect. You don't have to rappel down anything. You just have to worry about climbing back up. Yeah, you suffer no damage from falling. If you end your turn in midair, you get to basically keep falling down. For most games like that, when you like stop in the air, you basically enter a free fall. Um, so this is going to prevent you from just taking that damage if you're not able to get to a landing spot by the end of your turn. And then obviously you can glide horizontally, so you can make that jump and you just kind of like free fall. And that is our 5 points. That is the max we can take, unless you take some of those negative traits. So if Fiendborn does have 2 negative traits, you could also, at this point, if we wanted to do a mixed ancestry, and you could take a negative trait from them to get more Fiendborn traits, vice versa. So, but I think we'll keep it simple this time and just use those 5 there.
I like how it's coming along. Can already
Yeah,
imagine myself playing with this character. And I'm sure it'll show up somewhere at some point.
somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Now for the class, which we said we're going rogue. So here's what a rogue would get. There's these combat masteries, so they do get access to maneuvers, techniques, and stamina points. And this is the chart, just like you might have seen in D&D. So this is why we actually get 1 bonus HP from our class as well. So we didn't add that in right yet. So
No, not
that.
yet.
So this goes up to 9. And we also get the stamina point, which we already put in, and we get 4 maneuvers and all the class features, which were just the things listed above here. No, I'm sorry. Those are
Yeah.
down here.
And then the starting equipment would be that, like you were saying, that set of light armor. So we would have that extra +1 too, right from the get go.
Yep. I'll say we did that.
Cool. And then you want to,
Maneuvers.
do you
Let's
want to,
want to do that.
yeah, let's dive into it.
A lot to go over here, but the ones I was looking at were, we get some of these ones like automatically from the way that Rogue works. I was looking at sidestep. I like sidestep because it lets you kind of jump out of the way and impose disadvantage. And
Like
then I
it.
was looking at parry. I know that might sound weird for a rogue, but that lets you. I feel like a rogue is smart enough to be able to deflect some blows in a way.
Yeah, I feel like too, if especially for keeping with the theme of the dungeon diving, you're less so trying to fight and you're more so trying to survive and
Yes,
get away with
right.
what you got.
I think takedown was one as well, because you might be able to tackle them to again get that advantage. And I don't know about a
Perfect.
fourth one, but let's see. Maybe
Mm,
swap. You could swap places with an ally kind of thing.
Yeah, we could do swap. We could do.
Give you that more fluid movement.
I think swap would be good.
Yeah.
The hired lackey, hired help.
Yep. There you go. And then we get weapon maneuvers, but in my mind we're using a dagger, and there's not a dagger specific maneuver. So
Said or we could use a whip, do it Indiana Jones style.
I'm not saying we don't have a whip on us, which is really awesome. But I do. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use a whip. I think in one of my characters because I just like the idea of it.
Yeah, do you want to dive into the class features a little bit, or do you want to save that
Yeah, let's
for
go.
future?
Well, I think we can just at least talk about these three here,
Cool.
3 or 4. We do get an extra skill expertise, which now that we're not done building our character, but we could have gone back, and that means that we would be able to go up to this second level. So we could put a 2 in something and get +4 to it. So if we wanted another history or another stealth, something like that, we could do.
I'd probably do stealth.
Yeah, probably stealth. But they I guess how the rogue is working right now, right? And there might be changes in the future, obviously, but they get the 1 SP, but they can regain it back based on actions they do, which are these things here. So their stamina points seem a little bit more fluid. I think in our video that we covered stamina points, it was like at the end of the turn or whatever, at the end of the combat, they come back. But this actually has a way to like regain them within combat.
No, like yeah, they're a full on battery. Like they basically,
Yeah,
from what I was reading, they get to use their abilities probably more than anybody.
yeah. So, and I think
'Cause, I
that
mean,
ties into like what
hitting
a
a
rogue does.
hitting a flank target. I mean, if you have just one other melee member in your party, like you're gonna be able to flank pretty
Yeah,
reliably.
and you're probably trying to do that 100% of the time. So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. And you can use that SP, like the action point thing. There's 4 of them. You can use that and
Yeah.
weave it in at any time. So those things we just went over, right? You could use one of those with your attack. Cunning actions,
Mhm.
just like what you would believe it is, right? You can 2 spaces of movement. You can disengage, dodge, or hide. Feint, I guess, not dodge. Um, Debilitating strike. This is where I was talking about the maneuvers we looked at, like not taking one of those attack ones, because you can choose when you make an attack, they roll a save, and you can pick one of those effects: deafened, exposed, hindered, slowed. Um, there might be other in the maneuvers, so I just quickly looked at them, but I believe exposed and hindered at least were in that list. So
Man, I didn't even like put that together while I was reading it. I was like, okay, cool, some conditions. I didn't realize it was full on
yeah, yeah, you can
weapon
do,
masteries. That's
and you get
awesome.
to choose these, which is super cool. And then thieves' can't just
Thieves can't. Classic.
I guess we get another language, a mortal language of our choice, right? So we would get another one that we're fluent in, which is crazy because we're already, I guess we're taking Elvish.
Yeah, there you go, dude.
And then, oh, I didn't write it down here. We took the sorcery cantrip, huh?
Yes.
And then our maneuvers would go here. That
Mm,
didn't take terribly
yeah.
long. I mean, within 20 minutes, you can make a character, talk through it with a buddy, even make some changes, go back and forth. So we skipped over the saves, and that's going to be combat mastery, not skill mastery. So that's just going to be 4, and that's 3.
Yeah, I
That's it.
think the character creation I think is pretty intuitive. Like there might be a little bit of back and forth as you like get to something else. Like, oh, I do want to be better at this. Let me swap my stats up real quick.
Mm,
I feel like I really like condensing, like just having the 4 stats.
yeah.
It makes everything really simple.
Yeah, the prime modifier situation's pretty cool too. And I do like the skills, how those work, because it kind of helps limit you to what you can be capable of, which makes sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you can definitely like make that jack like kind of like talked about earlier, that jack of all trades where you can kind of like spread everything out. But I feel like
Mm,
with this system in particular, it pays off to just dive into what it is you're trying to do for your character, whether that's skills, you can just max out on skills and just focus on that. If you want to be good at a specific combat, like just maneuvers or grappling, just go all in on might.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Well, yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
best part.
yeah. That's the theme of every video so far is flexibility, and you definitely have that
Yeah,
here.
sir. We're gonna look to in our next videos continue covering some of the rules that we haven't got into yet, like combat and other things. Um, I do think we're gonna try to bring character build videos into this as well. So some of the other members from Shield's Rest, we might have them on and walk them through building a character, for example. So not sure what the next video will be exactly, but one of those things. So
Yeah,
um,
there's definitely obviously a couple topics we haven't touched on that we talked about here, like the maneuvers and rest points, I think was one. So there's
yeah,
definitely it's not all encompassing so far, but I think we have enough here where you can get a character on paper um, in under, like we said, 15 minutes.
yeah, yeah. Then you
Be ready
find
to
a
go.
DM or a GM and you learn to play by playing.
That's
That's the best
the
way.
best way to learn.
But yeah, we appreciate everyone. Thank you for continuing to engage with us and leave us some good feedback on both Reddit and YouTube. We'll see you in the next one and keep that shield wall strong.
Take care.